I'm not here to wow you on my videography skills. I'm not here to wow you on my linguistic skills and my technical knowledge or anything like that. I'm all about plug and play. I'm all about how the gear works for me, and if I feel like I can uh, recommend to people who are more like me, or people even that are probably better and more skilled than I am, would be able to use something. I'm not a professional, and I don't care to wow you with anything in a treated room or anything like that. I leave that up for people who want to mimic television and cable TV of old and want to go to that style. I like YouTube, and I like the realism of what YouTube offered. I like the idea of people um, kind of using YouTube as being able to broadcast for real people, for real type of situations. And I think what you're seeing today is kind of getting lost in translation. I think it's just the old and tried true method of selling advertisement to large corporations and not really bringing value to a community. Even some of your favorite and my favorite YouTubers are nothing more than just following the same old terrestrial television and cable TV playbook. And I don't know, it kind of gets old. And so I'm never going to reach to any level where I'm going to have to pretend to play the game or anything like that. So I like the idea of just kind of focusing on people who are in it for to learn and grow, and learning how to use gear, and are enthralled by um, trying to level up on any in any way, shape, or form, and not necessarily trying to do anything but maximize their potential, not maximize YouTube's potential, or future sponsors potential. Just maximizing your own potential. And my potential is pretty low. I'm a 50-year-old man that has to take things slow, and I'm a slow learner. So I get enthralled by $25 five fine desk microphone desk stands, and stuff like that. So I'm using the K688 microphone that I recently reviewed, and so what a great microphone! And I plan on using this microphone on a steady rotation, because I just find it such a high value. I'm gonna level up, but it's gonna got to be on my own time. You know what I mean? So I'm using the what is this? This is the Insta360 2C link camera. It's not the PTC one, or the one. It's the one that's the still one. I mean, it will follow me wherever if I go this way or that way. It kind of automatically centers me. But yeah, I bought this one probably a little over about a year ago. It's a decent little webcam, 4K, 30 frames per second. I'm sure there's better ones out there. I got it for a decent price. I think it was on sale for $140 or $130. I don't remember. But anyway, so yeah, I bought that one. Um, I don't know what other thing that I would use. I think I saw another one out there recently that I might try in the near future. But again, I'm just trying to go one tiny step at a time. And sometimes it's a lateral move, and sometimes it may be a step backwards, and then I learn from my mistake, and then I get back to where I started, and then sometimes it's a level up. Me talking about this stuff isn't necessarily a review or anything like that. There's plenty of review channels out there and people that know way more about this stuff than I do. But this is more about my experiences with products and gear, and what I use them for. And I kind of have a criteria. If it is it easy to use, so plug and play. Will I be continuing to use it? Does it have a place in my workflow? Could I recommend it to other people? And return on investment. I'm not necessarily feeling like, you know, affordability and low cost products is necessarily exactly uh, the goal with me talking about products. I have things that are more expensive and things that I've not scrimped on. Like we just bought a higher end laptop for my wife, a Yoga 9i Pro, um, Lenovo. It's a very good laptop. I would say higher end, kind of kind of a quasi content creation, do it all business with a little bit of gaming style laptop because it's got a decent specs and all of that. So it could do it all. The OLED screen, the whole 9 yards. So it's not necessarily that I'm just into budget gear and equipment. I'm into stuff that works and it's going to work from our workflow, my workflow, and that there's going to be a constant use for it. And if I'm going to be able to use it on a regular basis and I'm going to get the return on an investment, that is a big thing for me. So I don't mind spending a little extra money for stuff that I'm going to get a lot of use out of. And, things like my iPhone, you know what I mean? As much as uh, Apple products frustrate me, I do get a lot of use out of my iPhone and my MacBook Pro M2. Both devices suit me really well. Now, I'm never going to be, not anymore. Since we bought this new Windows laptop, I'm not going to be stuck in the Apple hemisphere uh, anymore. I'm going to be venturing out. I'm probably going to be into more of a duality system, and so, but for purposes of my workflow, we're always going to have kind of a dual system, and I'm even thinking about going Android as far as phone. Yeah, so return on investment. It doesn't I'm not like stuck on one set of products. I'm not stuck on one set of ecosystem or anything like that. I just, if stuff works for me and it adds value to what I use it for and in my workflow, um, and I get my money's worth, that's how I review stuff. That's how I feel like I can um, come up with a positive ranking in a sense. Um, I think that there are so many other channels out there that are going to wow you with their abilities to look at the finer points and give you kind of the visual dopamine hit that you're looking for as far as reviews and all of that. And I appreciate those channels and I watch them a lot. You can just look at my home YouTube home screen and you'd say, "Oh my gosh!" I mean, this guy is just like a tech junkie or whatever. He's just watching review after review, and I kind of am in a lot of ways. Um, I'll get into a rabbit hole. Like I'm looking for a Windows based PC myself right now. Because I don't want to be stuck just in the Apple ecosystem. I kind of want to be in the duality system because that's how much of a gadget freak I am. I'm really thinking about being one of those goofballs that has two lines two phones, an Android and an iPhone, and a MacBook and a PC. So my wife doing real estate, she's had, due to some of the software in her real estate business not being Mac compatible and her not wanting to do the workarounds that needed to be done with the Mac, she just decided, hey, I need a Windows PC. And then I swooped in and said, I got you. Let me do all the research. And that's where the Lenovo 9i, Yoga 9i Pro came about. I did tons of research, and that was the perfect computer. It's future proof, and then 16 inches with an OLED screen. So I'll probably do a little bit of an overview of that. And I'll even probably bring my wife into that conversation, having some fun talking about some tech, and bring my wife into it, who is not a tech head like me at all. She, like, it makes her nervous, and when I'm in that zone, it makes her even more nervous. But I'll be interested to get her take, after years being kind of a Mac user, to having to go. I mean, she's had to use Windows based PCs for a long time for work purposes, but now um, using it for her daily business, and and kind of a Windows based laptop. There is some differences, and um, you train yourself to do one set of skills for so long on a laptop. There's been a little bit of a learning curve for her, so I look forward to talking to her about that. So anyway, I definitely enjoy. Now you can hear the peace and quiet. The laundry just stopped, so yeah, now you can really get the idea of what this untreated room, but a little bit of silence, how a little bit of silence could change a little bit of the sound quality. Um, so, but like I said, I don't. I try not to overthink this. I try not to worry about the little stuff. And to me, what content creation is all about is just showing up. It's just about the output right now. It's just about showing up and getting it done, and letting the chips fall where they may, and then learning from there. And I'm still learning. 7 years in, I'm still learning. Literally, like I said before, 4.5 years of the Bulldog Social Club, I was just floating by. I really didn't think about anything about except getting interviews done, talking to people in the dog world, getting the interviews out. I had my own little workflow. I didn't think, I just had kind of blinders on. People subscribed. I was happy about it, all those sorts of things. And I really didn't think about the bigger picture about YouTube and content creation until I started getting um, more and more complaints, and then getting a little more and more frustrated about some of the technological stuff that I had to deal with when I was just using the iPhone to the iPad and recording voice memos, recording the phone calls through voice memo. I was like, I gotta figure out another way to streamline this. Now, getting more equipment and microphones and all that does not necessarily stop the technology fails, but it gives you a little bit better leg to stand on, and gives you uh, less harshness in your audio and your video quality and all of that. It gives you more options. And so that's why when I talk to people who are thinking about content creation or wanting to use it their for their business, I tell them just to invest in a microphone, usually a USB-C type microphone, and use their phone as, just start off on the right foot. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars because you already have the equipment in hand. But $100 will get you going, and you know, and even less than that in some regards. The audio is not going to be as harsh as it was for me for that first 4.5 years of just recording phone calls and then speaking into the iPad microphone, which was all right. I mean, it's passable. I mean, I posted a couple of videos recently of me speaking in directly into my iPhone, and it's passable microphone. I mean, I think it's better than even some of your Bluetooth lavalier mics that you see out there these days. It's a little clearer. The only difference is that it it picks up a little bit of extra noise, um, and sometimes that's a little bit more annoying than dealing with a little bit more muffled sound that you get some of those lavalier mics that do cut out a little bit some of that extra noise, that make it a little less harsher on the ears sometimes. But anyway, so like I said, I'm not a professional. And I don't want to ever be a professional in the sense that I always want to learn and grow, but do it in my way and do it in a way where um, it's about sharing the process more than it is about me uh, showing off, So, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just sharing my process, and I hope to eventually come up with some more interviews with some fellow content creators and people in the small business space that are also using content creation to promote their business, and also um, learn from people like that have been doing this and doing it in a way that is beneficial for them for real, on the financial side of things. I really want to talk to people who are like me, who are just, avid hobbyists that may be looking to expand into something bigger, but aren't doing it in a way that is overly aggressive and trying to do things in a way that everybody else is doing, and are trying to follow a playbook that just kind of replicates terrestrial TV and cable TV and all that, because I find that to be inorganic and really, unfortunately, is a playbook that most of us we can't follow because we don't have the skills or the backing to be able to do that. And that's not being negative, that's just being realistic. And so let's have fun. Let's figure out our own way and our own path of doing things. And let's not try to be something that we're not. And let's have fun using equipment that is available for everybody now, not just the professionals. And let's try to maximize this equipment the best way that we can, and not necessarily the best way a professional can. My microphone skills are never going to be what a professional voiceover person would think is appropriate, and I don't care, right? I'm not trying to be a professional on that level. I don't know exactly the way I should uh, calibrate my microphone on my Lewitt Connect 6 yet. I'm learning it. It's going to be a slow process. I'm a little bit overwhelmed by this Lewitt Connect 6. Again, I will be talking about this. I'll be doing a little bit of an overview of this. I am absolutely in love with this thing. And this is why I say, uh, I keep going. I thought I was about ready to end, um, but here I am. I'm just keep going. This is what happens when you're not a professional and you don't write things down, and you don't have a strict out or anything like that. But anyway, I stick to a USB-C microphone until you feel comfortable about getting a proper audio interface. Don't waste your time on interfaces that aren't any good. I'm convinced of that. Like, I think you can get by with a affordable microphone that sounds good. You can make that microphone sound even better with a proper audio interface. So spend more money on the audio interface than you do the microphone, in my opinion. I could be wrong, and if I am, hit me up in the comments section below. I'd love to hear why I'm wrong. But just from my experiences this last couple of years of leveling up with equipment and gear, that's what I've come to understand, just from my anecdotal evidence. But like I said, I'm willing to learn and be convinced otherwise why that may not be the case. Anyway, now I'm out. I'll see you next time, and thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing, and thanks for liking and sharing. Talk to you soon. Bye.